And I have a little 1-year-old running around, and he's very loud. So if you hear some screaming, he's okay.
Yeah, welcome everybody to the World of World of Ability Podcast Network. My name is Emily Gilmer, and a podcast engineer here. And I'm excited to bring you another episode uh, of our newest shows, Conversation for All, uh, by EC Marketing for All, and Christian Mendes, who we met a mutual contact a few months ago on another project, and um, and so yeah, we're saying about all the passion for marketing, and Christian's been um, participating with us on some other uh, uh, meetings and projects and so on. Um, but there's nothing further to do. I'm going to bring in Christian here to kick us off today. So, welcome, Christian. How's it going? You're on mute, Christian.
Yeah. Thank you, folks. Thank you for joining us again. This is another exciting podcast, Conversation for All. We're going to dive into inspiring stories, expert advice, and valuable insights. Remember, we're doing this for our veterans in our projectdiehard.org. What we're doing is in the chat. Make sure you guys leave the link website or link us product or service that you guys want to promote, and then your contact information, email or no phone number. We want to make sure it's part of the actual chats. We want to make sure that we get part of the networking of part of it. And we're also going to make sure that we talk about these are conversations that are happening that are affecting all of us. So first and foremost, we do have Terry. Let me just because she was a little bit before, but thank you guys all for showing. Thank you guys for support. Thanks for we then have Anissa on deck. But first, we have Terry Price, international motivational speaker and coach. She's worked with multinational organizations, TEDx speakers, solopreneurs, students, and of course myself, just to name a few. Terry started Unlimited Youth Inc. to share her passion for helping others and overcoming the fear of public speaking and engaging and entertaining in a safe environment. She's actually an inspiring speaker and really focusing on some of the future. So some of those middle school, 10 brained youth that are, of course, our future. And she focuses on moving audiences to action. Our second guest that we're going to have on here is one of our main speakers, Anissa Hudak. And some of the inspiring, I'm not even going to do a brief introduction is very, she's got guiding sexually traumatized women in the pursuit of healing and just being an advocate for speaking. Justin McKay, he's a bit of our funding. Santa Papa John, we've always got to make sure we're on that nice list, not stay off the naughty list. So, thanks, man. My master connector, Alden Holmes, and side associate, of course, John. And it couldn't happen without our podcast engineer, Emily. So thank you so much, Emily. And please, Anissa, take it away and introduce yourself, your mission, and what you got going on.
Hey there. Thank you so much for having me on today. My name is Anissa Hudak, and I'm the founder of Phoenix Women, where I guide sexually traumatized women in their pursuit of healing.
Thank you. Thank you. Terry.
Hi, I am Terry, and I'm with Unlimited You. I am a motivational speaker and also a speaker coach, and I help people become better communicators, more effective, more confident, whether they're wanting to speak to a room of 2 or a room of 200. And I'm super passionate about helping women and students. And I'm super excited to be here first time, so I'm excited.
we got another guest, Zach. Thank you for joining us, Zach. Let's go into introduction, Justin.
Hello, thank you for inviting me here. My first time too. Yeah, I'm kind of a Swiss Army knife in a business, helping people, but my core value is helping. So I call myself a solution seeker, and I put enough tools in my professional tool belt where I believe that I can pretty much help anybody that I come in contact if they want to be helped, or if I find kind of a pain point that they didn't know existed. So that's just what I do. I love helping people in any way that I can help people, whether it be my services or being a third to awesome people like you guys. That's what I do.
It's great that you mentioned and that you said something that's really key. You're there to help people, you're there to assist people. And I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. Me and Anissa had a conversation earlier this week. I like to get to know folks. And those that I'm inviting on, so that way we can also have you on full deck next week. So that's what I was in the hope for Terry and Justin. So Anissa and I had a conversation, and I want her to start with some of the big stats, because I know people love stats and they're like being shocked, and I know Terry will kind of agree. Anissa and Terry, you guys can unmute your mics at all times because we're going to have this, and then we're going to go into and finish up the introductions. But first and foremost, we talked about the massive things, and it's going to go into what is the big stat that you shared with me that was impacting?
Well, I think the one you're referring to, because we talked about several numbers. The one is we think here in the U.S., according to RAIN, which is the organization that works with women who've been sexually traumatized, they feel that 1 out of every 4 women have been sexually assaulted or traumatized in some form or fashion throughout their lifetime. However, those are only the reported ones. We actually think that it's 1 out of every 2 women due to underreporting. Can you imagine? 1 out of every other woman.
That's it right there. So we went from a 25%. And again, some of us think differently. Some of us understand it a little bit differently. And this is one of the big reasons. And I'm so glad and appreciative of both of you, Terry and Anissa, come on here. Because we're talking about voicing. We're talking about using our voice. We're talking about making those reports, right? And we're talking about speaking up when we see something. So that's why I say, and something that Justin just mentioned is, we're there to help. And just the same thing, that we're here to help. The only one that knows when you're good and when you're bad, even if you don't, that's only Santa. But we don't have those superpowers. So before we jump into introducing Santa Papa John, I want to say that if we don't voice ourselves, if we don't voice our problems, if we don't voice our experiences, then we can't be part of the solution. Now, this is not to stifle anybody or to kind of down. No, this is to uplift. And please definitely know, as Justin said, we love helping people, but we don't want to step in when somebody doesn't want to be helped or they're not ready to be helped. All right, Santa, introductions. Go ahead, take it away.
I'm playing the rookie card. I've never done this before. I was on mute and you called me out and it was like, where's the button? It disappeared. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Santa Papa John and I make people smile. And how do I do that? It's easy. I create one-of-a-kind, amazing, positive, happy video memories for people. How do that? Well, happy birthday videos. Everybody loves happy birthdays. Wouldn't it be cool to get a special video, Santa, to wish a loved one happy birthday? But there's many other ways. I'm now starting reading stories to the kiddos on YouTube and TikTok. Now we'll take that a step further. Terry, you're looking at me going, but I'm going to, wouldn't it be cool to have Santa read your grandchildren a story with their name in the story? Yes, I'm doing custom created stories just for people of all places, kinds, and worldwide. And I'm putting their children, their grandchildren's stories into that name. Now, wouldn't that create an amazing positive, happy, joyful memory that you could share for a lifetime. But you know, I brought Zach on today. Zach runs an amazing, a foundation, and he helps a lot of different people out. And I'm glad Zach showed up. We'll get to his introduction here shortly. But I do a lot of things. Why? But it's the simple little things, right, Christian, that we need to make more.
Yeah, that's it right there. That's it right there. And then we're also going to touch base a little bit down on the show on how we're going to be getting Project Die Hard and Santa Papa John, and more for the business support, because he's also doing a Santa-approved business. So you can be a Santa-approved coach, or you can be a Santa-approved entrepreneur, solopreneur, or Santa-approved business. We'll get into that in a few. Yeah, Terry's going, all right, we're going to go ahead and make sure we get everybody. See, we love smiles, we love joy, and we love these cameras. So, and we also like to have fun and love humor. So please definitely do. And exactly, she just beat me to it. Thank you, Anissa. If you haven't already done so, please make sure that you guys share your name, your contact info, and the link, the product or service that you want to promote. Emily's getting those. She's also going to be making sure that we get those copied, and then we're going to paste them out to our own networks. So we can make this really, and this is what it's about. As Alan Holmes is going to get here, our master connector introduction himself, is our goal is to that we raise the awareness and that we inspire other people to speak up. By seeing this collective diversity of faces and these people here, just know that this is an open platform for you to come on in and bring your business and some of the actionable things. Remember, I leave value and create value, because that's what part of that joy. And yeah, Santa Papa John is actually doing that emotional thing, because we know that that's marketing, right? Oh, we don't want to talk about it. No, see, that's the reality. This is where we have those conversations and we align how your business can make that emotional connection, how your business can have that branding effect, how your business, Terry, is going to have that impactful whatever, or that client. So those are the kind of actionable things. And we're talking about speaking up, about being accountable, about being, or maybe speaking up for somebody else that can't. And so we're going to align those messages and how we're going to help each and every one of ourselves, but also the Project Die Hard. And I mean, imagine, and again, this is not something that you have to imagine. It's sad that we're talking about it, but and it's a reality. Did you know that an average of 22 veterans take their lives every day? That's at projectdiehard.org, and our 22. Easy marketing for all and supporting organizations dedicated to mental health, so we can work together to better help that awareness, to have more resources, to have an ability for other folks to be able to speak up. Because sometimes we don't just speak, or I don't know why, but if we make sure that everybody in here, as Sandra said, the small things that we do, if we're doing those small things, then we then allow other people then to say, hey, I might not be able to help you, but you know what? I know that Dad may, or Alan may. Alan, intro, take it away.
You see marketing, Mr. Thank you, my friend, Christian. Community essence of business, and I'm the master connector for building it. What does that mean? You know, life is I'm really humble. I don't say this too often, I self-promote, but today I turned the same speed limit that California once was. I'm 55 today, but my gift is just being here with all you great people. Anissa, nice to see you again, young lady. She was a guest on my show with EC Marketing on Wednesday. Justin, nice to meet you. I'm U.S. Army 13 Bravo. And Terry, it's nice to meet you as well. Santa Papa, you know, I love you, brother. Zach Clayton's over there waiting with. You know, this is what I do. I collaborate, connect, and network. That's all I do. I love to market others. I market in reverse because my wife suffers mental illness. So I'm a mental health advocate. Financial literacy and eradicating poverty and moving all this negativity out of the way is what I love doing. But I like to be here of service, because when we wake up in the morning, we never know who we're going to meet or how many lives we can change. I always tell people I don't have children except the little one dog that's over in the corner. So, buddy, hello, buddy, again. You know what? I'm just here to be here. I'm humble. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your Friday and let me know to be of service. Let's change the world together. Back to you, Mr. EC Marketing. I'm humble.
Thank you. Appreciate you. And that's one of the beautiful things that we've, because of this network, because of these opportunities, I was able and fortunate enough to meet Alan. And a lot of the things that we're going to be doing and speaking about is exactly that. Is finding each other's voice, helping somebody else find their voice, and then supporting them. Heck, as a matter of fact, I'll be quite frank here. We met through a mutual associate, love her to pieces, my Sherry Wallace of Reforming Funeral, one death at a time. Super weird, super morbid, but we wanted to make sure that everybody has enough money to bury their loved ones when that does happen because it's an unfortunate part of life. But John does some AI stuff that he did a person that was kind of buried, but almost just this part wasn't, and they're kind of being held. And I'm like, that's marketing genius. That's absolutely marketing gold. If you put that in front of a shirt, and on the back is, yeah, you can't afford funerals either. And then the QR code at the bottom. I mean, that's going to make somebody go, wait, what did I just see? And turn her back. So again, we just don't know. If we're closed off, is exactly that. We put on the blinders. Some of the other folks that we'll have on and some of the resources that we'll have on. Perfect, Zach. And I was hoping that you would give us that introduction in the chat. Anybody else that's joining us, please share that because these chats are going to be going out to all of our networks. And you guys can, now that Zach shared his, introduce yourself, Zach, and then Emily's going to get all of our contacts throughout that in the chat, and then she's going to copy it and then paste it so that we can go back to our networks. And right before Zach introduces himself, please do make sure that you guys do go to the, obviously, projectdiehard.org, but our Facebook pages for Project Die Hard, our LinkedIn, just like, share, and follow. You guys may not necessarily have funds from those listeners or be able to get in and donate or be able to volunteer. That's okay. If you just like, share, follow, we are grateful for that. It helps our awareness, it helps our folks, it helps our networks, and it definitely is going to help continue that. It's that little ripple. You're just adding a little bit more to it. And I promise you that it does matter. Because if we do not use our voice, then we become part of the statistics, and then the statistics get less and less and less. And then some people actually don't care as much. So, Zach, take it away. Intro.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? I know a lot of you here. One of the things that I'm proud to say is that on Monday, if you join us at 6 o'clock East, you'll be able to hear more about Anissa's story. She's going to be joining me on my podcast, Footprints Forward, which is about we work with mental health issues and suicide ideation. And this all got started because I do once a year on February 22nd, a 22-hour podcast about veteran suicide. And then I also, Christian, you're talking about Project Die Hard. My company is teamed with Project Die Hard. We raise money by simply asking people to give us a referral, and we turn 75% of that referral into a donation to organizations like Project Die Hard. So all we ask you to do is, it's called Shop, Click, and Pick. Shop with our partners, click a picture of that receipt, and pick the organization or community member that you want to donate to, and they get 75 to 90% of whatever we were given just by you simply shopping. So.
Well, thank you so much for coming and I appreciate the service that you're doing and some of the stuff that's on there that you guys already got going on. Definitely, we'll have a conversation after here and get plugged in so that way we can do a full roundabout in how we can support Zach and what you guys got going on. Similarly, just want to make sure that we put out there the same alignable offer, and it's any services from EC Marketing for All. We do also do a donation, so you can do a 25% commission and a 25% donation. So it doesn't have to come out of yours. Just also that we're clear, make sure that we understand that. EC Marketing for All is here to serve, not sell. but I just want to make sure that we do know that. And this is another part of it. This is why I was saying, and we're going to go to John's introduction, and we're going to go to Santa Papa John's introduction right after that. Well, we kind of already did, but John's, and then I want to say is, if you guys within your organization, within your coaching, within your speaking, within whatever you're working on, or outside of it, if you say, hey, I'd like, Christian, if AC Marketing for All can help me to create an offer that would be specifically for Project Die Hard or for Zach's organization or such and such, please do reach out again. You can reach conversation at ecmarketingforall.com. And for any future guests, or for any future prospects, or anybody else that wants to, that has something that is, again, nonprofit, we're more than happy to sit down and give you a free strategy session, and then even give you some actionable tools that day. It's one of the beautiful parts about having that industry experience. Leaning on that, let's go ahead and introduce yourself, John, and we'll get going.
Hey everybody, I'm John Petro Sr., owner of Mill City Marketing, MA. I just look to help businesses get their businesses or their services out there on social media platforms, and also 30-second videos now on Disney Plus and Hulu live streaming. Just got that okay about a month ago. Haven't done anything with those yet. I'm still playing around with them, getting used to how they work. And there'll be more of that coming down the road.
Thank you, John. Thank you. So going back to this, and this is something that's, and again, I'm going to say the funny part because this is not something to make light of. But I received in the mail, I have clients, we've been in the industry for over 23 years now. And we're celebrating a couple of anniversaries with one of our clients will be 10 years this next month. So it's wonderful to see our business growth and seeing some of the fruit of our clients. We started with building up and building up these opportunities and really getting to know folks. And that's the only way that AC Marketing for All does contribute. Your appearance is not always an endorsement. We make sure that we're clear. If we don't line up with you and your vision and you guys don't see fit, listen, there's no hard feelings. We just understand that somebody may not see eye to eye. Somebody may understand Alan better than they understand me. Somebody may like Justin better than they like me. And so we understand that we're not everybody's cup of tea, so that's okay. We're here to point you in the right direction, give you actionable results or guidance. But again, as we kind of talked about in Anissa, speaking freely to be able to. So what would you say would be some of the actionable things that women can take in this case? And then just to kind of give you something to think about is, what do you and how do you prepare, Terry, how do you prepare folks to be able to be a little bit more confident? Because I think, Anissa, what would you say actionable results to get more?
Yeah, so the reason that most people are not confident or they have fear around public speaking is a couple of reasons. Number one, it's a very mental thing. So the first step is sort of reframing your thoughts on maybe a prior experience that you had that didn't go well. And we tend to tell ourselves stories in our head. And most of the time when you stand in front of an audience and speak, they want you to succeed. And so we tell ourselves stories in our own head that make us feel like maybe we failed. And so the very first step is sort of reframing those stories that we tell ourselves about prior experience. And the other reason that we have a reaction is we actually do have a physical reaction in our body. You know, we have our nervous system, sympathetic, parasympathetic system. And when fear comes in, it's actually like in our DNA. So that sympathetic system kicks in. It's like back in the day when there were cavemen, right? Walking through the jungle and they saw the saber tooth. That fear kicked in, and we have that same reaction when we find ourselves in a scary situation. And so there's actually, I have tools that some as simple as just breathing exercises to sort of help bring that down.
That's great. That is absolutely true. I am a practitioner of meditation and yoga. And so breath work is, I didn't even understand it. By the way, I've come from an athletic background, but boy, if you could have told me, hey, you can actually calm down if you control your breathing, I would have loved you and appreciated it way back then. So the conversation that we're looking and need to have. So exactly. Now, what would you say a part of that affects your business? Okay, let's make sure that we identify them, because reframing it has a lot to do with it. And just so that since we're speaking on here, when you show up to an AA or you see a show and they stand up and they say, hey, my name is such and such. My name is Christian. I'm an alcoholic, or I'm in this, or I'm in that. I'm going to go back and say, I think we need to reframe that. You have it, and please, not, how would you identify, not a victim, a survivor? And what would you say keeps them so?
Well, I don't actually like survivor. I like thriver. I like thriver. We shouldn't think of ourselves as victims, and survivor is a middle state. We should become thrivers.
I love that, because I tell people I don't just live, I thrive, and I thrive daily. So sharing some of the trauma, yes, I have had trauma. I've had many traumas, and I will say that, yes, I know I definitely have stopped identifying as a victim. I did for a while, and especially, Destiny's Child, baby, I'm a survivor. When Destiny's Child, you're a survivor. You go with it. But I'm going to speak to this in regards to what we're talking about here. But so I love it that you say thrive, and this is exactly what we're talking about. I'm looking at your site. I'm looking at what you do, and that's why I hesitated in saying survivor, because I'm like, okay, what would you like to? So thank you for that. For any of your thriving tribe, can you share what keeps them so quiet for so long?
Judgment, non-believing, there's just no support. And then when you look at the fact that if you have a rape kit done at the hospital for DNA, it's put on a shelf for up to 5 years. There is a 5-year backlog on rape kits. Why do it? Why say it?
That's that other big marker that you mentioned in the conversation, and just as it hit the first time, it's definitely deep now, and it is definitely impacting. And that's part of the things that we're looking to do. And Terry, what would you say would be something that, and I know this is a bit more of well, actually, we got about 50-50 here. We got 4 and 5, 6-ish, and so I'm all around women empowerment. So just to let the gentleman know, I'm on women's side, just so that we're clear. That's why I said it's a half-ish there. I'm one of the ones that you don't want in the conversations, because I'll tell the men's secrets. I tell the women, this is how you do it. And I actually used to tell my nieces, my goddaughters, because they've been, I've only been a parent for 12 years. So we had 11 years without kids, and now 12 years with, just so that you guys know. And I used to tell my goddaughters and my nieces and nephews, but I always say, listen, treat boys, especially the younger ones, and this my wife will tell you too. My wife will vouch too. It's just like we train pets. Stop. No. Sit. Good boy. And listen, 23 years married, boy, I tell you, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about, because I've already. So with that being said, Terry, how can we support each other? What would be something that we can do? And same thing, question for you, Terry, first. What would you say is, how do you help people become that voice that, even though they may have those neurological patterns that we know that survive, we know our brains tend to, and that's why we go snacking. And just so that we're on the same train thought, how can we support and better ourselves to support our speaking and our supporting each other speaking?
Well, the opposite side of speaking is listening. So becoming a better listener. And I know a lot of times people are, if you're having a conversation with somebody, especially in business, you're thinking about what you want to say instead of hearing what the other person is saying. And it's okay to be silent. Silence is okay. It's okay to pause for a moment and take in what that other person said and think about it. Now, even if you have to say, oh, gee, I've never thought about it that way. Let me think about that for a second or something. The other person will appreciate the fact that you're actually putting thought into what they've said versus just spewing out whatever you were thinking. So I would say listening is a super important piece. The other end of the stick, if you will, of speaking.
Thank you. And anybody else that wants to chime in from the panel, definitely raise that hand. We'll get to a little bit more involvement. But Anissa, go ahead. How would you say you can support the thrivers? Or maybe some of the survivors are in middle ground. How do we support survivors in middle ground to make that next step?
I love what Terry just said about listening. Sometimes it's just about having someone to sit there and listen. Have a cup of tea and just listen. You don't have to say anything. You can just listen, non-judgmental, and just listen. That's a lovely thing. That's supportive. Having a support system around you. Not everybody reports, and that's okay. You don't have to. For whatever reason you might have for not reporting, it's okay. But you still have to heal from it. And having a support system in place. And if you don't, you have to find one. And that's so very important. And after my second rape, I sat back and I thought about what do I need? What do I want to see? And I realized that there were all these support groups. There's AA, as you mentioned, NA. There's even Weight Watchers. And what do they all have in common? Community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I have a community for these women where they can go. Some days, they're just talking about just life in general. Other times they pipe in with something, hey, I got triggered, or I had a nightmare, or, I have a court date coming up, whatever it is. They have other women around them who get it. And sometimes we don't even have to talk about it. We just talk about, life. And that is wonderful because we still get it. We still have the same background. And just having other people around you who are like-minded and have the similar situation is really healing, just like you have in AA or Weight Watchers.
I think that building of a community and building up of that support system, and unfortunately, as you said, in order for you to find your tribe or find a community, supportive community, you do have to go outside sometimes of where your current stances are. I know growing up Southeast San Diego, so downtown San Diego, very early age. And a lot of the things that we were kind of taught and a lot of the things that we were structured and indoctrinated, if you will, as children through elementary schools and things like that, we're not seeing the same opportunities. And so the reason I connect this is because I didn't think that things were that bad until you see a contrast and you're going like, what is all of this? Wait, do you mean to tell me that I could be doing all of this in my elementary school too? Like, wait, where are our computers? Where are these? And so contrast is good, supportive is good. But one of the things that you talk about, and I joke around with Destiny's Child earlier, and I joked around, and yes, we're going to have Master Connector chime on in here, but I spoke about it and I kind of dropped those hints. Some of it is cultural. Some of it is what we hear in the news or what we hear on the radio or on mainstream or online, right? And so because of these things we're taught to, and I'm going to go ahead and pause so that we can let the Master Connector, but I know we run around with the whole Destiny's Child, I'm a survivor, but we also have there's another one that if you guys have heard it, it's like the struggle is real. And you literally have these little boys and girls about 5, 6, and lunch pails and hanging off. And the struggle is real, and I'm just going like, buddy, your crayons are real. What do you mean? Like your Play-Doh is real. What are you sitting here thinking about struggles already? And it's because it's so ingrained within our cultures. It's ingrained within our communities. It's ingrained to how we're raised. So then we're told, hey, pipe down. Hey, calm down. Hey, just be happy with what you have. And I think that also that might play a part into some of the survivor thriving moments that you help them break through and things like that. Alan, take it away.
Yeah, thank you so much. Being born in straight out of Compton, and it's not a tagline. I was actually born right down in the heart of Compton, by Campanella Park, and during that 70s and 80s, you learn and it was right around with the rappers and all the different ones, and I learned that the East Coast, West Coast, the different colors and everything else, and I said, look here, I'm a Dodger blue, even though I was in the area, it was red. And I actually remember one of the young man came up to me and he was just like, now look, I need your Campanella Park. He said, what's up, dog? I said, well, first of all, I'm not a dog. But second of all, what do you want? Now, keep in mind, I was 90 pounds with a big afro, and I'm looking at him. I said, you got 30 seconds to move out of my way because I got to go over there. And when he realized that my uncle was LAPD, just like Christopher, yeah, I don't tell my mama what I do. But yes, he gets to move out the way, and we just had a different conversation. Now, I bring all that up is because we go through these different changes on what she said, and like, this is my wife is like, okay, yes, ma'am. I learned that my mother can hear things when I'm around the corner, and I'm like, how it must be ladies hear things around the corner, and yes, ma'am, that's always, we learned that I've been married for, April 7, 2013. You've been together 20 years, and I was given this thing called life, or paying attention to my wife. And Anissa, I do understand. I love the thriving with what Christian was saying, because my wife was sexually assaulted in 2019. And this is like the second or third one. And when it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I had to wait actually 5 days to go down to the hospital and the thing. And an officer asked me, why in the world do you wait so long? I said, look, do you know what I did in the military as a 13 bar? Well, I made things go boom, boom. And I told him, I said, no, that's not and I had to calm down and realize that if I had been in the same spot, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you. And of course, he proceeded to, I said, okay, well, when things are here, we're going to have that conversation. I am big on to the world that if you're under 18, and somebody gets to messing with the daughter, you call me because I'm coming over. And I don't have this conversation. And I bring all that up is because we have to take care of the children, as they say. I don't have any children, but I'm the big uncle to everybody. I love children. I love the great that they are future. And we must change the world. That's why I have in my little tagline, community to the essence, because I am the community, but it's not about me. It's about we. There is a huge disconnect in our society, this thing called internet. I was dragged kicking and screaming into this world called the internet, but I love it because now you can't dodge and weave and move over here. No, like I'm in the room. So what's going on? So we got Santa Papa John, we got Emily. I forgot to mention her earlier. She's my radio, the reason why I have my wonderful podcast. But thank you so much for, again, allowing me part of this vision, because this is a conversation, like you say, conversation for all, to change the world, to learn from each other, and just check in every once in a while. Because, and I'll close it with this, my wife does hear voices because she has PTSD, ADHD, and bipolar and schizophrenic. So I was given without a blueprint. And I realized, look, I almost became an actor in my life. And so I learned how to think on my feet. And I realized that if she believes it's real, and I don't, it's not about me. It's about understanding, and like Terry and understanding, and some of the others said, listening, active listening, not blah, 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 blah all the time. You got to put a stop sign in there and just be able to say, you know what, how can I be a service? So with that said, Mr. Christian, back to you, sir.
Thank you so much. No, absolutely, absolutely. And listen, nothing against LA, nothing against the Dodgers, no problem whatsoever. We just want to make sure that we understand each other. Um, we all. This is a great example, and one of the reasons why we met. I go back to John. I go back. Yeah, John is one of the only other ones in Allen. So we met through an associate and a wonderful friend and a human being. And this goes to the openness of people and the openness of ourselves and our communities. And we love to joke and we love to, because that's that community, that's that building. And we know that, see, this is where we can tease and kind of give ourselves a little bit of, that's healthy. That's how you express those things. You know, cussing and hitting and violence, that's how we, unfortunately, that's how we were raised and that's how we were taught. To speak to the Master Connector's point is the police was not our friends. He talked about the 70s and the 80s. So I was sharing in regards to the 80s and the 90s, and that's what was ingrained. And if you were to go to the police, it was you're a snitch, and snitches get stitches. And you don't go and you don't talk to the police. You don't talk to a detective. You simply, and that's why so much of the crime went unresolved. There's so many issues. That's a conversation for another day, but just please understand that absolutely, if we do not stop, breathe, because we have to be good before we can help anybody else, we got to be good. If I'm weak, if I'm malnourished, if I don't have enough strength, I cannot help John. I cannot help Anissa. I cannot help Master Connector. I cannot help Santa Papa John. Doesn't need anybody's help. He's got helps galore, but I still would help Santa Papa John because I'm not taking care of myself. I'm not listening to myself, and my body's going, hey, I asked you for a break. Hey, I asked you for pause. I asked you for breath. And so those moments, and I really speak to that because I had our Helpopedia. If you guys don't know, it's Helpopedia, IPEDIA.org. And our Helpopedia, we had a wonderful session with Christine. I'd like to get a session with Anissa with something with how somebody can contact you. We want to make sure, and this is what we were talking about, and I think nearing the 15-minute marker here, is if you guys want to offer something that we can do through EC Marketing or through Project Die Hard, for example, Terry, if you want to, you and I can sit down and see what that would look like within your organization or to promote an event for veterans to speak. Same thing, Anissa. I know we have some creative folks. I have a writer who I spoke about your program with, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'd be excited about because I could kind of relay, and then we can do a writers type of event, and it's non-judgmental work that it would be. And so she's happily to come on. And so this is how, and I share this because this is how things were. Emily helped me out. A Master Connector helped me out and got me involved, and I started kind of plugging in, and I started kind of helping out here and there. And so then it evolved. And so this is exactly what Conversation for All is about. This is what the Ability Podcast Network is about. This is what Project Die Hard is. We just don't know what somebody else, where they're at. So we like to really meet them where they're at. And so if there's a cost factor, at least because of this, we'd love to eliminate that initial or what we can do with each one of your organizations where your organization gets their, obviously, services paid for. We want to honor you and your services, but we want to be able to work something out where we're able to use those services and also return the favor or expand the services that you're offering. And then also obviously provide some Project Die Hard or the disability or the today's ability channel or the today's disability channel as well. So whatever support, we're EC Marketing for All is on it. So yeah.
So Christian, let me ask you something. Of your 22 a day, we know that sexual assault in the military for women is rampant and goes mostly unreported due to lack of promotion, distribution. Are you finding a lot of those 22 are females having dealt with sexual assault?
You know, that would actually be a great conversation for our founder, Mr. Gibson. And I think that that is something that I'm looking to get more involved with within Project Die Hard. So have some of these facts, to have some of these stats, to have a little bit more of just docs that we can send out, because structure and information that we can send out for anybody that does go on the website and they want a little bit. And then that would also include your logo. So that would include any other information that we want on there for any, and just to check out the LinkedIn offers. But to go back to your point and to answer that specifically, I don't have the specific answers. Alan, do you have a specific answer for that? I see your hand raised.
Yeah, you actually have them. You know, I can hit that late down the line. You know, okay. I was actually on the 22 February last year, or I believe it was this year. Start blending together, but I can just say he's another brother from another. You know, I got a brother from all over. Yeah. And he did that 22 hour podcast. You can speak to more of it. Was eye opening. It was an amazing. Come on in, Zach. Yeah, come on in and speak.
Yeah, so right now, the latest statistic is that female veterans rose to 24% of suicides. So, and unfortunately, you know, I hate to bring more bad news into this, but the number was way outdated. It is way high. It got all the way up to 48 plus a day. So
now, when you're claiming the 22, are you saying over the course of all interactions, or is it just the non-vets? Because I know the 22 is, from what I've seen, is primarily from NOM.
Oh no, I don't put any. I put veteran and current warrior all together, and it doesn't matter where they come from. So and actually the number that is right now, it's the Middle East warrior that is, their numbers are higher than anybody. So we're unfortunately we're losing the Vietnam vets right now to natural causes and to cancer.
And that just heartbreaking, and it just a minute, if we will, to reflect that. And that's a great time to just ask yourself, what are you really doing to hire a veteran, support a veteran, support your community, a thriver, a underserved, a naughty list child, a micro business, a funding opportunity. Business is good, but what are we doing to just support our people? Because I always say that underneath the business, it's a real family. Yeah, I know these folks like to do. If you support a big corporation, you get to help the CEO buy another yacht. When you help a small business, you help that business owner, entrepreneur, send their little one off to ballet or to the baseball or to Little League or to camp. So I truly go back to and say, and I like to take that just to heart and to say thank you, Zach, for informing us. Thank you. And we're definitely on this to move it down. And I think the one thing is just opening up a conversation, if you guys agree with me, and then listening and letting them know that, hey, I would like to just listen. I like to support you and find out. And I know if I've met one-on-one with you guys, or if you met me at any network event, I always tell you, I learned to serve first and see what I can do before I'm ever going to sell you. And trust me, there's stuff I've made millions selling, but it wasn't until I shut up that I made the biggest impact. Woo!
Christian, I think the reality of it is, whether it be women with their rapes and hiding from it because of the stigma or the scenario that they're put in, whether it be military or not military, and the military people, there has to be more education. There has to be more services. There has to be more people that are willing to listen to help these women, people, veterans, and the government's not going to do it. So we have to find a way to support these. Project Die Hard is only one of many that I'm coming across. And there has to be a way to publicize the lists of these available services out there. Yeah. And that has to be.
That's what we're doing. That's exactly what we're doing, Santa Papa John. So your Christmas wish came true, and that's exactly why we're here. Conversation for All. We got Justin McKay, Don McKay Hilliard. That's HILLIARD at e-hps.com. Check out his LinkedIn. We got Anissa Hudak, the founder of Phoenix Women, where she guides sexually traumatized women in the pursuit of healing, making them to go through. Get her, connect with her for her coffee. Oh, that was.
Take a breath.
Yes,
Take a breath.
That New York, you can't get coffee in New York, and if you show up, you better get some coffee. Awesome, love it. Go to www.phoenixwomenhealing.com, and that's Phoenix, PHOENIX, women, WOMEN, healing, HEALING.com, / coffee talk with Anissa. I'll let you guys just go to the site there. The next one we have, obviously, our Project Die Hard, and you guys can go and look. Zach has also got his support Project Die Hard by using this form. And also, obviously, Zach Clayton and what he's got going on with, give me a second, Community Pay It Forward. Shares your business story with those who need services to rally support for those who need us all. We do this on our unique platform, Shout, Click, and Pick, which is constructed to empower change and create impact to bridge consumerism. Compassion by turning an affiliate award into a donation. So you guys can actually reach out to Zach Clayton through his links on there or his Calendly. I also see the president and founder website, www.communitypayitforward.us. That's again, www.communitypayitforward.us. And then John Petros Sr. from the Mill City Marketing, MA. Check out his Calendly. And then, of course, you guys, as you guys already know, EC Marketing for All. Tune in, and thank you guys for coming. Appreciate sharing the information. We're going to get an email copy of the chat over to you guys. But if you guys want to go ahead and also share that, or share this link at the bottom, or some of the chat, we can actually do that. So you will get a copy of the chat. This will be going to each of our networks. So again, that's part of what we're doing here. We're excited to announce this wonderful podcast network, Net Worth Conversation for All. We've now joined the World of Ability Podcast Network. Today's Disability Channel and Project Die Hard, along with every one of you and your mission and vision. Thanks again for your support. Thanks for coming. Thanks for showing up. The one thing that I'd like for you guys to do, and just take those actionable results into every single day. How we do one thing is how we do everything. And I'm going to just go ahead and end it with this. And we had a little challenging, or a little funny conversation when Anissa was sharing with me in a conversation earlier this week, where she gets spam requests and spam messages that she doesn't report. And I said, see, that's how I can tell you how the digital world, people don't report, and how we as people, and it's not to bring any light to, or it's just to make fun of, it's just to make it interesting, that if we don't find that there's going to be enough support, we get hesitant, don't we?
I'll have you know, this morning, I got a request, and guess what I did? I reported it. I thought about you, and I was like, I know he is just sitting on my shoulder, and so I reported it.
And remember when we talked about this, and I'm going to go ahead and finish it up with, and as Master Connector is over there, if we don't invoice, and I shared with him, and he goes, "Are you kidding me? Is this the same guy?" And I promise you, I'm going to share this with you guys, and we're doing a whole webinar on scams that are happening to women, veteran, everybody. It's happening. So if you guys have somebody within your network that has been scammed, and my clients send me pictures and emails, I've had the opportunity, again, as I told you guys, we're celebrating 10 years. One of my clients emailed me this thing, which he got duped into a contract. Her people, it's a commercial cleaning company in Omaha. They did one-time contract. They had it for a year. Let's listen. They had a contract for a year. The person that hired them only let them do it one time. They took pictures, they had access and all of that, and that was it. They were let go after that one time. Well, now my client didn't know is that now they're shopping around their commercial properties with her information. So what did she do? She literally handed off. And then guess what? Any commercial property contract is a year. She only got to do it 1 month or one time. That means the people are buying, and the person that sold this contract or purchased the contract, the middleman this contract, is taking all of the money and is not actually providing, all because my client gave them the information. My client was so embarrassed, she called me, and she wanted me to speak to her son about how to take these risks and minimize these risks. So I love being handed over from associate to associate. But boy, when you got a 10-year tenure and the mom is handing me over to the son, and the son's going, "Hey, I'd like you to do something else with me and my wife, and we're doing this while we're stupid," that's a lot worth more than any dollar bill or any figure at the end of the month. So I love working with my folks to where they have the trust, where they go, "Christian, I know this might seem like a stupid question, or I should know better, but please just check this." And I get those texts and calls. The ones that I've met on a one-on-one, I've allowed, and I've given you my cell, office, and Calendly, because I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. Make those open platforms and make myself available, because if I don't, then we're not going to have that openness, and we're not going to have that transformation. And that's what I'm looking to do. Impact global transformation, conversation for all. Thank each and every one of you. And got one more.
Happy birthday
Dude, happy birthday. All right, well,
Thank you.
Papa John, I was going to leave you the last second to talk about the business. They can find out how to get an Santa approved business. And then I was going to do that after. I didn't know if you wanted it on recording or not. So I was going to.
You know, it's all about it. If you want to be Santa, just think about it. Santa's been around for 1,753 years, and he's one marked character. Don't I look awesome? But you know, I've set up a subscription program that if you want to be Santa approved, you want to be part of the workshop and be a glorified elf, I'd love to have a conversation with you guys to learn more about my program, and I'd love to learn more about, especially you ladies. I got to have a one-on-one with you ladies, because you guys have an awesome program, both of you, and I want to learn more about it. But yes, I'm marketing this worldwide, and I'm having so much fun doing it, creating happy, positive, joyful memories. So thanks, Zach, for showing up. I'm glad you got a couple cents worth in. We'll have a conversation about your idea. Justin, nice meeting you. And of course, Alan, my buddy, happy birthday. I hope you had an awesome day today. Emily, once again, you made this meeting a success by making it run smoothly, even though Christian, tends to run a little bit, overboard. And thanks, ladies, for showing up. I appreciate it. And I'm glad to learn about what you do. And Anissa, your project is, fortunately, we have a society with dumb people don't understand that, no means women do need help. And it doesn't have to be the world. It can be a listening ear to these women. Huge difference.
Thank you, John. Santa Papa John. Yeah, John.
Yeah, just want to say that it's a pleasure being here tonight. Everybody here, even being my anniversary day. Now I have to go
Happy anniversary.
30 years, I believe it has been. Don't quote me on that.
Oh, it's all recorded.
Yeah, Emily, thank you so much. You can stop. Go ahead. I know that folks have schedules and appointments, so I want to make sure I'm cordial with that. You can stop the recording, and then
Recording stopped.
Whoever needs to leave, I appreciate it. Anybody that wants to just hang out and chit chat, we'd love to open up your mics and then just be cordial. But definitely, thank you guys. Really to say the last thing, but